Welcome back. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone, Rovi, and MScribe. And today we're going to be talking about the talk of the town, right? Friend.Tech.
Yeah, dude, some pop culture news dropping, I guess, for the Web3 space.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely outside of our normal,
Yeah, social.
Social.
Yeah.
Not ordinals.
Not ordinals.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's
and
like
crypto combining.
Right, but we like crypto.
Yeah.
It's just the social space. I mean, we have covered things like social tokens in the way past.
Yeah, with
We're
Rally.io.
Rally, and there was a thing that popped off called like whale token back in the day. This was like 3 years ago, maybe. This is a while ago.
Yeah.
The idea of like being able to buy a token that represents, I guess, something. So there's some sort of tie-in or association to some person.
Yeah, Whale was the one who locked up some NFTs into an address.
Correct.
And fractionalized the ownership, right?
The ownership.
Yeah.
Whatever it meant. It's just you purchase this token.
Yeah.
People at the time believed, okay, I own this token that represents the collective value of this dude who just assembled so many high-value NFTs, you know, Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, all the coolest shit, right? And this guy had tens of millions of dollars worth of value in that vault.
Yeah.
Like the whale vault. And he issued tokens and it did pretty well for a while. It got as high as like 40, 50 million or something in market cap. Maybe even higher than that. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Right. So we're like, hey, there might be something to this. Imagine Mr. Beast did something, right?
Yeah. And all of a sudden Rally.io came out and platformatized the whole thing.
Correct. So us, along with even like A16Z, like other major investors are like, dude, this might be the next big thing.
There might be something here. Yeah.
And then something happened where it just kind of stopped right there.
I mean, personally, I never really liked any of these social tokens. I always I didn't find any sustainability in it. So
right, okay, yeah. I mean, that sentiment can be applied to a lot of. It seems to be like a ubiquitous feature of like Web3 these days. A lot of non-sustainable
but I think the social aspect ties directly into the influencer,
right?
And so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like a mechanism that you can come up with that is sustainable. It's more like the person is what you're attributing that value to, the tokens to.
So what would make it more sustainable? But the only way to make it sustainable would be some sort of like revenue,
some ecosystem of like I don't know, some access to, apps or something. I don't know. Something that the influencer came up with that would give you access to that ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some avenue for exploration and experimentation, right? Outside of the bounds of just, okay, yeah, let's issue some tokens that, let's call it, Mr. Beast token. And just because I own this thing, like, somehow there's some associated value to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Without any kind of like true value.
Even a Mr. Beast token, I don't think would do much.
Yeah, right, dude.
I don't think so.
If there's a market for like, influencer, like clout value, whatever that is.
I don't think so.
I totally disagree. But anyways, there actually something like this is happening right now. So we're about to find out.
Yeah.
This is the experiment we're talking about, right? Like let's introduce a new market.
Yeah, so that very thing that we're talking about is happening with Friend.Tech.
Correct.
And it's happening so hard that the new social app has driven 4,400 in ETH, which is about $8 million in trading volume in less than 24 hours from its launch.
That's pretty significant considering where we are in the market.
Yeah, it surpasses OpenSea's in the same time frame, but with its mysterious origins, lack of privacy, and all that raises some red flags.
I totally agree. And the most important thing is this is all happening on Base, right? Which just launched like a few days ago.
Yeah. And what happened with that launch? Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built MScribe, the first inscription platform built from the ground up for the metaverse on Bitcoin. Connect your bitmap ordinals and use our tools to bring your community into the virtual realm. Support us by joining the movement at mscribe.io. Like, comment, and subscribe for the latest alpha. Back to the video.
I think it went fine, didn't it?
Well,
I think it was totally fine.
The app's on the launch.
Well, yeah, leading up to the launch, there was a lot of, exploiters and ruggers, like serial rug offenders. It took advantage of the hype, right? And this is what's happening in a bear market. Some new, it even happened in the ordinal space, right? Ordinals were new.
Yeah.
A lot of volume was coming into the space. It's a hype wave, right? A hype cycle.
Yeah.
And the degens and the rug exploiters and stuff, they kind of migrate from these different little pockets of liquidity, right?
Yeah. So the biggest one was called Bald, right?
That's the one on base. Yeah. Bald. Yeah. And I think there was others. I heard like a personal like story from somebody. He's like, yeah, I invested in the first like 10 tokens that launched on base and all of them rugged me or something like that. So, I mean, to be expected, I guess, at this point. I don't know. This is not like a regulated market, right? So
yeah.
Okay.
So what is Friend.Tech? So essentially, you have to use a Twitter account, and you have to be invited in using a code. And you type in that code, you deposit some ETH, and all of a sudden you can purchase shares. They call them shares from your favorite Twitter influencers.
Yes.
And
specifically Twitter influencers, right?
Specifically Twitter, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And the way that works is it works on this bonding curve. So let me zoom in here. Yeah, here we go. And so the way that this works, that bonding curve, essentially when you buy the first share, the first price is roughly, quadruple 625. Right?
Very small dust amount of ETH pretty much, right?
And then you can sell that. I mean, you can sell that for nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to, you can't really get your money back.
Correct, because you're the only one who bought it. So
right.
Well, there's no suckers left.
So then the second person,
right.
The second person can buy it at 0.00025.
Yeah.
But you could sell it at the previous price.
Correct.
Right. And so forth.
Right.
And so this chart only goes up to about 250 consecutive purchases.
Yeah.
And then that's what you have as a bonding curve here.
So that's interesting and just in itself, because intuitively, I guess, I assumed there was an actual, you're minting and distributing shares of representation of the value of some Twitter account, Twitter profile or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought there were actually like some ownable unit that you have that can be, transferred or listed or whatever, right? But they're not really. All you're doing is just signaling to this curve that, my interest or disinterest in this specific thing that's, I don't know, that's represented to have some kind of value, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually like this scheme. I like the fact that you can, purchase a share on this given line. You know where it's going to be in the future, like in terms of, if it's extreme interest, you know where the price is going to be.
Right.
Right. And so naturally, through the invisible hand of the market, right, as the price increases, there's going to be a lot of people who would be like, hey, you know what, this is probably too much of a buy pressure, so I'm going to sell, and it's going to naturally go back down and find its equilibrium price. And so the bonding idea is actually good. The problem with this is when you deposit your ETH, you're basically sending them your ETH. You're sending Friend.Tech your ETH.
Correct.
And you're hoping that they maintain
the
liquidity in that wallet.
So it's a lot like depositing funds into your local bank, right? Like you're hoping every time you do that, like when you go to call it out, they didn't just like lose all your money.
Correct.
Like everybody's funds.
Correct.
They're over there tapping on the U.S. Treasury's doors, like, dude, we need a bailout, guys. We fucked up.
And it's funny you mentioned that. There's been several banks who have collapsed because they didn't have the liquidity.
Right. That's not some sort of like conspiracy theory. Like this shit happens, right?
Recently too.
And these are like very regulated things, highly regulated banks.
Yeah, these banks have been around for hundreds of years.
Right. So we were kind of like implementing a similar mechanic and trusting this totally anonymous like organization with that same like I guess customer to custodian relationship, right?
Correct.
Whew, that's a scary one. Dude.
Yeah, it is.
And you said something interesting where like they could have like utilized smart contracts to kind of like make this a little bit more trustless of a process, right?
Correct. Yeah. So instead of sending them your ETH, whenever you create an account, they should spin up your own smart contract. When I buy your shares, I should be depositing that ETH into that smart contract.
Yeah.
That is connected to this bonding curve.
Right, and auditable and like publicly viewable and immutable.
And they don't own they don't own the private keys to that smart contract, right?
Correct. It's like they're utilizing all of the like
the nice stuff,
the icky features. Not even icky, like the vehicle enablement of like what a crypto token is, right? So now you're introducing speculation into a market.
Correct.
By leveraging the token itself, but you've removed all of the security features of blockchain in the process.
Yes, correct.
It's definitely, I agree with you. Like when we first discovered this, because a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of people we know are onboarding into this ecosystem.
But you know what? From my perspective, I don't see a ton of hype on this. Like,
not a ton, but
not a lot.
In context of again, where we are in the market, this is definitely like the #1 project that's launched on Base.
Yeah.
And Base is like no joke considering who's behind this initiative. It's Coinbase, right?
Sure.
The United States' biggest crypto entity, right?
The most regulated crypto entity.
Yeah, the one under the heaviest of scrutiny. Now, they're doing this.
Well, they're not doing.
Well, they're not doing this.
Yeah,
I'm talking about they launched Base, right? And then
correct.
This is the killer user so far.
Yes.
Right. So it's an interesting narrative, right? Something
and I think the reason why it got in front of our eyes and everybody else's is because it's network effect. You have to be invited. Very much like Zuckerberg in the early days of Facebook. Like if you were cool, you got access to Facebook.
I guess we're not cool, dude, because we haven't been invited yet. I don't have an invite code, dude. So if anybody wants to, let me in. Yeah, that'd be nice, dude. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and so it works in the similar context that you have to invite people, and
right.
It's like it feels like this exclusive thing, but you just have to be careful because you're sending them your ETH and you're hoping that they maintain that liquidity.
Correct. So these are just the red flags, but outside of the red flags, I think the idea is actually incredibly intriguing and interesting.
Specifically for this, because when you buy a share, you get access to a private
chat room.
Yeah.
So that's very good for community, aggregation. Bring all your lads together in one nice cozy space, and not only are we all intimately sharing this digital space with one another, we all actually are now vested individuals into this, this, I guess, community leaders.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. And if you don't like the direction that this individual is going, you just sell your shares and you move
to the
on.
next guy.
Yeah. Move on. That's great. You should be able to do that.
It is great. And it's interesting because I don't think as far as securities implications here, I don't think there are any, because I don't think any of these influencers are actually just they're not doing an ICO or anything for their own
Not
token.
only that, I mean,
they're not taking your money, the actual influencer, the Twitter influencers.
Correct.
They're not doing token launches on this site, right?
Correct. They're not.
So I think that's where, as far as because it sounds like it could have some sort of security.
Yeah, because it's called a share, right?
Yeah, they should have called it something else.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You can call it a share all you want, but as long as you're not giving these entities your money in exchange for that share, then that entity is going to have to do all the work, whatever it is, I guess, build more influence on Twitter.
And in addition, if you're an influencer who has a community buying into these shares, I think you got to be careful with the with the expectation of profits. Yeah, it's don't you can't say buy into my share price because it's gonna rocket in
you can't even really acknowledge even if you acknowledge dude, my crypto god token price is up 200% this week.
Yeah,
I rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do that, the SEC is oh, see, you are telling your followers.
Sandeep did the exact same thing. He commented on the token price on a tweet
of Matic, right?
Of Matic, and all of a sudden the SEC came down on him,
labeled it as a security.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That's I guess a PSA to all you influencers onboarding into this market.
I guess if you're associated to the United States, you have to be careful. Anywhere else, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I guess. But so these are the red flags again. But again, outside of that, this is interesting. Just considering, I don't know, man, this whole social token, social fi, whatever you want to call it, because to you and I, it's not that interesting. Just like when the whole the bitter and .tit thing was happening with Bitoshi, social and communication to us. I mean, we're introverts, right? we don't even talk to people.
Yeah,
really. So it's but. We understand there's a giant world out there, and the majority of you guys love to socialize and communicate with one another, right? So this is actually a big...
It does feel like the majority, but...
No, dude, for sure. It's the majority. Back us up here, TJ. Most people like to talk, right?
In my experience, yes.
Perfect.
In my experience as a human.
Most humans like to communicate with one another. So social is a big deal, right? So figuring out how to apply Web3...
Yeah.
to that space it seems important, right? But we haven't like cracked the Da Vinci Code yet.
Yeah. And there's one element that we haven't talked about is as people trade your token, Iman, the owner gets a cut of all the trades.
Like the actual influencer.
The influencer, yeah.
See, that's interesting. Now we have like an additional, I guess, like monetary incentive to,
I guess,
to become influential.
To become influential and to push people into the app.
That too.
Which gives them more ETH, right? Friend.Tech gets more ETH as a result.
Yeah, it's quite the scheme they've cooked up here.
Yeah,
dude.
there's a shape I'm thinking about.
There's a shape.
Yeah, you know.
Describe the shape.
Is that shape triangular?
Would there happen to be a base at this shape?
Yeah. Find them a lot in Egypt, or
yeah, right.
You must be talking about a cone, dude.
A cone.
It's like an inverted ice cream cone. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. So we haven't jumped in. Let's make this disclaimer. We're not. I mean, we have some influence, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's tiny.
It's pretty small.
Yeah.
But we're not like in no big rush to like jump into this. Like, dude, all right, join our Friendster. What Friend.Tech?
Friend.Tech. I don't even like the name at all. Like,
Me neither.
it's weird.
I like the bunny ears though.
No, I do not like the bunny ears.
I do. I think they're cool. But
I think it sends the wrong message. This is like a crypto version of OnlyFans.
Oh, speaking of that, if the NPC girl,
did you confirm that?
Yeah, I think Ice Cream's so good. She's working with the Friend.Tech team, I think, because she's like actively promoting it.
Huh. Well, she's promoting herself.
On it, yes. She wants like her follower base to, join her Friend.Tech.
I'm sure she does.
Because she wants to, have some of that market activity.
And the utility of the app, I mean, it makes sense. You get access to your community who's bought into your shares. So it's cool. I like it. I like that.
Yeah. So something about Rally, I mean, it was a cool idea, but they didn't manage to attract, I think, like the biggest notable influencers. And in this case, they already have Kobe on board, Gainsey. These are some of the biggest crypto Twitter influencers, at least, and they're already in there.
Is Kobe like actively pushing it, or did he just open an account and see what happens?
I mean, his token's already worth like 3 ETH or something a pop. So I think all he had to do is just jump in and people would just buy it no matter what.
So basically at 3 ETH, that means roughly 220 people have purchased.
I think so.
More than have sold, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Last I checked, because we haven't been able to actually get in there and analyze the market for ourselves, right? Because there is like degen activity happening here, right? This, of course, the introduction of a new speculative vehicle in the market.
Yeah.
Is a big deal. It's going to attract a lot of, degen traders and, just it's interesting, right? It's something new and everybody's looking for that right now.
Right, right.
So to me, this is the perfect thing for Base. I would have expected like Coinbase's blockchain to their killer DApp or app. This is definitely not decentralized in any way.
Yeah.
Their killer app would be like a social networking thing targeted to like an actual retail user base.
Yeah, a social app.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
This does make sense. It makes you kind of wonder, like, who's like internally involved with this.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So again, I actually do like the application. I like everything about it. I just don't like the fact that we're sending these guys all the ETH and they can just pull the liquidity at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, ultimately, we would be users of this, if all these like green check boxes were marked off. But I don't know, man. I hesitate on leveraging anything like this.
Yes, agreed. So yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna keep our eyes on it. Everyone else should too. There's some social market potentially that could emerge from this. Maybe another like a vector of the next cycle. Who knows?
I feel like a decentralized version of this, we'd be in, just because. There might be a method for us to, talk to our community like at a deeper level, I guess.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah, because there's a lot of people that ask us like, hey, when like paid subscription?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know, because I don't even know what we do.
Yeah.
So.
Correct.
But anyway, that's it for us. If you have any questions, if you're part of the Friend.Tech ecosystem, let us know what you think. Are you users? Do you like it? Or do you see red flags like we do, or what? Let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on all our Twitter accounts, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.